$60,000. It's wild.
That's in 3 months.
Yeah. And that's letting me know it's possible. Being really specific helped. And that allowed me to actually get folks reaching out, give them what they want. Don't add the fluff. Research is very important. Just keep doing it. It's possible. It really is.
So you recently won a contract.
Yes. Last month, I think. Yeah. For $60,000, 12-month retainer. It's crazy. It's like someone's salary.
Right. Which is someone's salary. And that is even more amazing because many people think can't get contracts under President Trump. Nothing's happening, never can get a contract again. So how did you even get into government contracting to then win a contract for $60,000 over the course of 12 months?
Yes. Well, I've been doing grant writing for the last 5 years.
Oh, wow.
That's my niche. But as far as me taking it seriously and not, actually being a business owner and not just an employee or feeling like an employee when I'm working with the folks that I'm contracted with, that started this past year of me just being focused and serious. And you have definitely been inspirational with that. I realize I need to focus. I need to be more business-like, fully step into it, and that will help me, secure contracts. And I did. So, which is crazy, like $60,000. It's wild. And that's letting me know I can do it. It's possible. Anything's possible. And it's just a matter of time where more will come in. So yeah, absolutely grateful for that.
Well, I'm excited for you. So you have a business, you got a cage code.
Yes.
And then where did you go from there? Because those are the basics, is business, Sam.Gov, get a cage code.
Yeah. With the cage code, I don't know what, I know what took me so long. I was so frustrated with just why is it not going through? But it's something as simple as they need a physical address. Like that simple. And just taking the time out to actually reach out and ask those questions like, hey, why am I not getting to the next step with this whole cage code process? What am I doing wrong? And me just reaching out and hearing that from you, just reach out and ask. You'll get the answers. It's that simple. That was inspirational too. So that helped me. And then also your GovCon book was super helpful too, as far as just knowing. Yes. I love how you get it. But yeah, the way you break it down, the simplicity of it all, with proposal writing, and that has helped me with federal grant writing with my clients. So that has been super helpful for me to just take more on. Yeah, that's been really inspirational. And before this major clients, I've had one-off projects. I've utilized Upwork. A lot of folks don't see that they can actually make money with that. I think it's a
Can you share about Upwork? Because I talk about all the platforms. And when I say all the platforms, I mean the various options where you can legally earn money.
Yeah.
So please share with everyone about Upwork, your experience, and why that even has played a role with what you've been doing.
Yes, it's so true. When I first started Upwork, I was approaching it more like a generalist. All right, can I just, here are my skills. Can I just get some money this way? Can I work with some people? Can I build up my profile and clientele? And then I realized nothing was happening. And I should just, tap into what I do, which is grant writing. And because of that, I customized my profile to really showcase what I can do, what I can bring to the table, and be specific in what areas, that I actually work with. Because a lot of folks, they are just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And just being really specific helped. And that allowed me to actually get folks reaching out. And I'm not going to lie, I was very shocked. Wow, they're reaching out to me. But when you put yourself out there, what do you expect? Folks are going to reach out, right? So yeah, just being selective too. There are some folks I was just not feeling it. As far as just, what their project was about, it didn't feel aligned. I felt like I had the pleasure of doing that because, I have a full-time job as a professor, so I'm not like really like eager to, I need to make ends meet, things of that nature. I feel like I have that privilege to, be selective. But because of that, I am able to select the projects that aligns with me and then build up my profile in which I have great reviews. And because of that, folks reach out to me, which is incredible to have someone reach out to me to work with me. So it can work. In quarter 4, I made like $20,000 off of Upwork, which is incredible.
It's incredible. And then again, that's in 3 months.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
3 months for everyone hearing. You don't have to quit your job.
No.
You have to do this full time. You don't have to drive Uber. You don't have to deliver. And there's nothing wrong with driving Uber. There's nothing wrong with delivering. There's nothing wrong with it. But why not leverage in Upwork if you can niche into something? $20,000 in 3 months is remarkable. I am so proud of you. That is remarkable.
It definitely helped our household, right? I'm a mom. I have kids. My husband's like, wow, okay, we can take care of some projects, things of that nature, which is lovely. And we don't have to stress. And even with this current client, I'm already thinking about, renovating our bathroom. It's needed. It looks a hot mess. So why not? So, the sky's the limit. And it's just really just remarkable to see that happen. And it does take a mind shift, to get there. I've mentioned to you before, just that confidence is so important. And I've asked you, like, how did you get that confidence? And I know it's a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a journey I'm willing to take. And a lot of imposter syndrome happens. I know for me at times, for a lot of people. But at the end of the day, you have like a record of all your accomplishments. And when you look back at that, I think it's so incredible. And it just pushes you to just keep going. And this is something that I'm the first person in my family to ever, accomplish this, to be a business owner, first generation American and things of that nature, So it's really cool. And even my kids, something to look up to. So besides my professional academic life as a professor, like that's cool too. And also being a grant writing consultant, that's amazing as a business owner. So you can have it all. It's just balancing, I think, is so important.
You can, like the Kendrick Lamar Man in the Garden song. I deserve it all. I mean, you really do. And I want to emphasize, Dr. Healy, that you are very rare because the vast majority of business owners don't have a college degree. And this is something you can look online for those watching. And so what's great is you've taken what you have and you've made the most. And I advocate for that for any and all entrepreneur.
Yes.
And that you're like, hey, I can go on here. And you didn't give up. You didn't say, I tried Upwork, it didn't work. You were like, let me niche, let me go in hard in the area that I know well. And then boom, people started to come to you.
Yeah.
And the thing is about Upwork, Freelancer, all of the different sites that are out there, even IKEA, I think they use TaskRabbit. Don't quote me though, but you have so many of these different types of sites out there across the world that us who are looking to pay, we just need somebody to take care of the thing.
Yeah.
That's it. And so then the more that you highlight, hey, you're the go-to for PowerPoint slides or for images or grant writing, or maybe you're the go-to, you assemble furniture. I read about a guy who makes 6 figures a year assembling furniture. I mean, that's amazing. And he loves it. He's like, yeah, and I
can't assemble.
I ain't assembling anything. I didn't even assemble his chair. So, I mean, I'm definitely not assembling furniture, So it's like, you can do that and you're full-time and government. So talk to us about how grant writing, your background in it, has been of help in combination, not only with the book, but just the experience that you've come across, even with people who've reached out to you and just what you've just come across in this beautiful space.
Yes. I think my background adds credibility. I don't think, I know it does. Like, even just being a professor, right? That aspect in particular, and you don't have to be a professor, perhaps you're an educator in general. It just adds credibility. Whatever your background is, if you can tie it into whatever you're doing, it just adds credibility. And that has allowed folks to trust that I know what I'm doing, right? To release control and have them just say, hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. That has been really helpful. And then also just leaning on and listening what my clients need, right? And leaning on, okay, what grant opportunities are you going after? All right, well, what do these funders really want? All right, how can we align your mission with what the funders want? And a lot of folks, they struggle with that. I feel like my background in English writing, English literature, it helps with that, right? I can lean on that to really convey what my clients want, but also what the funders want as well. But then also to take it a step further and be strategic and think about what projects do they have that aligns with what they want to get funding for, right? And these are great opportunities to make a difference in communities. So just making sure that's super clear, that has helped, like just having conversations and helping them perhaps see a clearer vision of what they want. I think that's been super helpful. Just me leaning on my background with that. And because of that, folks are just coming to me and I'm being referred, which is lovely. Of course, like putting myself out there, networking is great too. But when folks actually refer you, it's just like, wow, that's pretty incredible. So yeah, that has been pretty much my background in general that has helped me get to this point and just keeps it coming, which is lovely. And I just love seeing the end product of when we actually do the grants, right? The grant proposals and we get the funding and things of that nature, and just seeing how it truly helps my clients, the communities. It's just very impactful. And I could say one of the reasons why I stepped into grant writing is because as an educator, I am making a difference in the classroom, but I feel like as a grant writer, I'm making a bigger difference within communities, right? Or even worldwide, depending on the opportunities. So yeah, it's definitely life-changing and very rewarding.
And these grants, are they federal, state, local, county? Are they through like Google? Like what?
Yes,
Talk to us about some, because I get this a lot. And especially with the Department of Government Efficiency, I think we as a whole have learned more about NGOs and USAID.
yes.
So I want people to realize that's not what we're talking about.
No.
So if you could just share with us some of these grants, some of these things that you've been a part of.
Yes.
So amazing.
I can say, like, for example, for my current client, and they're a cultural, historical preservation organization. So with them, we're looking at foundation grants, right? We're looking at corporate grants, not just leaning, not necessarily on federal funding, but we're also connecting with philanthropists. And I think that's so important too, just to diversify our funding opportunities. With my other clients, we have done federal funding as well, which is a whole other realm as far as federal funding compared to foundation. Foundation's like, oh, okay, this is lovely. And then with federal, it's just so many pieces. You have to be like on top of it. Rightly so, it's federal funding, right? Just keep your eyes open and make sure you're actually being accurate with whatever you're providing. So yeah, those are different funding opportunities. But with this, climate, it's just so important to realize that funding is out there. All is not like lost, right? There are opportunities out there. You just have to seek them out. I know for myself as a grant writer, I lean on platforms like Instrumental. There are other platforms out there as well that provides all the funding opportunities that's available specifically for your clients, or if you're looking for something for yourself as a business owner, you just put the niche that you're interested in and it populates all the grant opportunities that's available. And it could be federal, it could be foundational, it could be corporate, all these lovely opportunities. And of course, with that, it's a paid subscription and it's just easier, right? you don't have the time, it's just easier to pay for a paid subscription and to have access to all that. And it lets you know when the deadlines are, what are the requirements. It even creates a little lovely calendar for you. So that has been super helpful. But for folks who don't have access to that, I mean, there's so many opportunities to use a Google Sheets and create a tracker based on that, right? And just do your due diligence to find what opportunities are out there. You could go on Google and see what's out there. There are plenty of websites, and federal is great. But there are other opportunities as well to take advantage of. There's a lot of like corporate giving too, a lot of organizations that provide funding. That's just a part of what they do. So yeah, just research is very important.
It definitely is really important. And what I like about your background and your experience is you are helping people get the grants, plus you have the knowledge and the writing. So if you decided you wanted to bid on an HVAC opportunity, you could easily do that too. So one thing that's beautiful about this space is if there are related skills. So if somebody's watching and you're in HVAC, there's no reason you couldn't win because you would know things about HVAC that we wouldn't know. Just like when it comes to an RFP, you would be able to quickly dissect it. You would understand what needs to go where, even if you've never had anything to do with that area before. So do you help people like just every day, hey, I need help. I want to bid on something. I don't really know what to do. Is that also something that you do, or are you strictly just in the grants area?
I am in the grants area. However, I do help people as well. That's something I am thinking about doing, like just probably having a separate website dedicated to that. But yeah, I think that consultation, that's how I view it as consulting. I think that's so important as well. Folks do feel very lost and very overwhelmed, right? They're just like, how do I go about this? And you do lay it out very simply, like follow the criteria, like it's right there. But I do get why folks are overwhelmed. So yes, I do help all people.
That's good. It's really good to know because I'm asked a lot, and I even have a video where I hired like a lower hourly person and a higher hourly person to see which proposal worked best.
Ooh.
And, so it was an experience because what happens is because it can be overwhelming, people get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And it boils down to what you said. You got to know whether it's a grant, whether it's you're right, you're responding to an RFP, you have to know what they want. It's not about, oh, I don't know, somebody else can do it.
Yes.
It's like you got to know. And sometimes opportunities, at least for RFPs, sometimes they literally just want a price. And then I'll have somebody put together this 20-page, and I'm like, oh, bless your heart, you wasted all your time. And then you're going to get discouraged because you're like, oh my God, I didn't know that's what I had to do, or vice versa. Somebody doesn't win. I had one student before they started coaching with me who didn't win because they didn't realize that there was something that they needed to submit with their bid.
Yes. It's so important to like look at everything that's required, but also to go back to what you said, like less is more. It really is. Just give them what they want.
Right.
Oh, don't add the fluff and look at me, like like of course your work can speak to it, but give them what they want.
Yes, you definitely want to give them what they want.
They're reviewing a lot of folks, proposals. When you think about it, it's not just yours. So you have to just give them what they want. And sticking to just looking at what's required, like you've mentioned, is so important. Making sure I like to create a checklist and make sure I'm actually checking off everything to make sure I'm hitting what's required. You don't want to be disqualified because you're missing one thing, right? And it could have been something so simple. I think that's important as well. And as far as tips in general, aligning what feels right, I always like to go with that. Like if it feels good, do it. If you feel like you can do it, why not? Like anything's possible, especially, with just creating a space for you to grow, I think, and to become your own person. I think it's so important to lean into that, aligning with what feels right. But then also ask for help. I think is important, right? And leaning on community is important as well. I can honestly say, like, of course, your community is great too. That has been so helpful. Just because a lot of people ask the same questions, and you could just look through like the Facebook group and look and see if the questions are answered. But also, if there's, let's say, if you're a young entrepreneur, there are young entrepreneur groups, things of that nature. I can say for me, I'm a part of a couple of entrepreneur groups, and it's really great because I get to talk about the whole journey. I can talk to my husband about it, but he's not an entrepreneur. So it's really great to lean on folks who get it, right? And sometimes you just need an uplift moments, right? You need some motivation. And I think that's super helpful. So community is really, really important. I wouldn't be here without my community.
Yeah, I love that. I agree. I have been part of formal communities, kind of created my own in, like, for instance, the sales realm. Right now, I'm doing my own little thing in the spiritual realm.
Yes, I love it.
So, thank you. So I'm like creating community, but the community is good because those around us, they usually want the best for us, but it's hard for them to relate if they're not an entrepreneur. It's like they can listen, but then when you're with another entrepreneur, they may say something like, Dr. Headley, when are you hiring a second
Mhm.
grant writer?
Yes, it's
So then it's not 25K in a quarter, you're
yeah.
tripling it.
And I love that you said that because I'm working on that right now.
So it's like,
Yeah.
things like that. Or there was a gentleman I interviewed and I said to him, why can't you create $1 million business? Why are you a slave to your current number? Like, and when I say a slave, it's the sense of the mentality that there's the limit. There
Yeah.
is no limit.
That's so true. Yes.
And so when you're around other entrepreneurs, then you're able to see and experience, like, oh my gosh, they teach stay-at-home moms how to do bookkeeping, and that lady's doing 30 million a year. I mean, it's like, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this. And that's what's so cool about it, because government contracting is a market. Grant writing, it's a market, so it's, why not be around other entrepreneurs? Are these groups, like, do you meet them in person? Do you meet them online? How do you connect with them?
Mostly online, but there are opportunities to come in person, which
Oh,
definitely a lovely, amazing experience and a great way to reset, right? I think that's important too. Meeting in person is a great way, especially when you don't have your kids with you, if you're a mom or a dad, right? Like, it's a great way to just focus on business and also be vulnerable, but also reset. That reset part, I think, is so important, especially if it's, let's say, the middle of the year and you need a moment to just think about what's good, what can be improved, things of that nature. And that's really important, I think, especially in person. Like, virtually it's great and all. And virtually, for me, I do some co-working opportunities in person and virtually, where we hang out and we talk for a little bit and then we just get to work. And I think that really helps, especially for me. Like, I get distracted sometimes if I'm home, the kids are like around, or like my bed's upstairs and I'm like, oh, I could just go take a nap. Oh man. So yeah, that virtual experience as far as creating a co-working space is important. And speaking of co-working space, I actually go to a co-working space too a couple days out of the week. They have white noise going in the background. Like, it's a whole experience, but it really helps me focus. I get so much done for my clients, for myself, like during that time, and it's always like amazing to see what I accomplish. So lots of tips in regards to that.
I love that, because no matter where you are in the world, we have beautiful co-working places here. There's an app, not sponsored. I use Focus at Will. It is my favorite app to keep me really honed in when it's something that I could easily get distracted. And I know, at least here in Tulum, there's lots of they have so many co-working options here. It's like, wow. So take full advantage, y'all. Take full advantage. What kind of tips or strategies can you offer to somebody who's like, okay, this is great. They're like, I'm not a PhD. I'm not a grant writer. Writing a proposal scares me. Maybe they've checked out the book at winnerswaybook.com. Maybe they haven't. Maybe they've watched a video. Maybe they haven't, but they know they want to get involved in government contracting. What are the first few things that they should really start to do to help them get over that, any fear they have?
Yes. Well, write down your fears. I think that's important. What is stopping you? What are you afraid of? See it on paper, face it. That is one way of facing it. Like just writing it down. What are you afraid of? What scares you? What is creating the doubt? And then seek answers to that, And it could be like, well, how many hours do I need to put into writing a proposal? Maybe you don't need to put a lot of hours, right? I mean, we hear about you doing proposals and every night probably, right? Like you're just getting it done. How is that possible? Well, maybe, you could create a template to help with that, right? Something to lean on with that. So like automating that would be really helpful too. But then also finding out, what do you want to do? What area do you want to go into, and sticking with that? I think that's so important as well. Of course, you could go after so many opportunities, but if you think about something you're truly passionate about, you're going to stick with it because you're passionate about it. If you're not passionate about something, you're just not going to stick with it. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be not fun, boring, frustrating. You want to be passionate about something. For example, my mom, I'm encouraging her because she loves cooking. She does have a background in it. So I told her there's so many catering opportunities, that's related to federal contracting. She could lean into that. And we're actually working together to figure that out. I'm helping her write down what she feels comfortable doing, what kind of catering speaks to her, and also researching what kind of opportunities are out there. And being that I have my cage code, we could go on Sam.Gov and look together and see what's available, just so she could get an idea of what's there. And then also me walking her through what is required and not scaring her, realizing, okay, this is a lot, but look, they're only asking for X, Y, and Z. If you really search and look at what they're asking for, it's there, right? Like, of course, they have to put together this whole document that explains about their project, maybe what they're all about, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, they have a section, the criteria. You just look at that and make sure you hit that, right? So, and that's the type of things I've talked to my mom about. And I think that would help anyone who is overwhelmed and they're new. Watching videos, I think, is so important too. Watching your channel, honestly, because you hear it all the time. All these folks who are just getting started and they're getting contracts. It's wild, but it's possible and it's real, right? So just listening in, and you'll hear a common thread too, which with each person, and it has a lot to do with them not giving up and just doing it. That's definitely a common thread, just doing it, but making sure they're putting themselves out there. They're responding to what is required and just not giving up. Just keep doing it. It's possible. It really is.
I love that. I know it. I know it. I feel it. I got my first contract right out of grad school in 07, 08. So I know it because I experienced it.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't give up, as long as you offer something that the government needs, or if you're writing a grant, as long as you're putting it in the way that they're looking for, there's no reason you can't win. So how can people reach out to you, Doctor? Because they're going to want to talk to you.
Oh man, yes. So you could go to www.cvsgrants.com.
I love that. cvsgrants.com.
CVS, like the pharmacy, but I'm not the pharmacy. cvsgrants.com.
I love that. I love that. I can't thank you enough for being here, for sharing, and especially for talking about Upwork, because my goodness, I've talked about Upwork so many times, and I love that you are there. And I just want to say, this is what I foresee. Within a year, you're going to be well over 6 figures just on Upwork. Just on Upwork alone. You're going to outdo whatever your income is or isn't from your professor position. You're gonna outdo that. And there's no reason within 2 years you can't be doing $500,000
Yeah.
on Upwork. There's no reason, because there's so many ancillary things that go with grant writing. And then it's just a scaling. It's just finding the people and either giving them commission or a flat rate or however you pay them, making sure you make your multiple. And there's no reason you can't build that to 500.
Exactly. You know it, and I know it too. It's gonna happen.
No, it is. It totally is. And give us your website one more time.
www.cvsgrants.com.
Go to the website, y'all.
Yeah.
Start the website. Start the website. Go there and take a look. You're going to be very amazed. And if y'all haven't already, winnerswaybook.com. winnerswaybook.com. It's also on Amazon. A lot of amazing things are coming. Again, I can't thank you enough for being here. You are so amazing, and you bring so much hope and joy, and like, oh, the sky's the limit.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I've mentioned you are so inspirational. So thank you for everything that you're doing. You don't have to do this. You don't, but you're doing it. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I adore you. And don't forget, y'all, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, comment below what was your favorite takeaway of the interview, and write free book. So write your favorite takeaway, write free book. And then what I will end up doing is giving you my email address, and then I'll have my team mail you a free signed copy, because you made it this far. So I'm proud of you. And everything is possible. Trying to hold it in so I don't cough too much, y'all. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Everything is possible. Until next time, take care.